And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's been waiting carefully, calmly, and collectively. His name is, well, his last name is Ward. We know a couple of Wards, but this guy has been known as a free safety in the NFL. We are now talking to former 8-year NFL safety, played for the Browns, the Broncos, and the Buccaneers from 2010 to 2017, the one and only TJ Ward. TJ, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on? How's everything?
Man, you look better than I do, man. I've been dealing with sleep apnea. I had to go on a cruise. I was dropping deuces. I was clogging up toilets. I mean, it hasn't been very, very good for me. Everybody thought, hey, you go to Bermuda, you get to go away. And I went away and almost got arrested. So that's a whole nother story. How are you, man? You've been away from football. You've been away from football for, what is it now? 6, 7 years now? It's been a while. What have you been doing? What have you been doing since football has been done for you?
Well, first off, I have a 4-year-old, so that's mainly I got a 4-year-old son, so I'm chasing him around, and he's getting into activities now. So he just had soccer camp last week, getting into some t-ball and flag football. So really with him, and then business-wise, I started an agency, NIL and professional representation for NFL and NBA. So that company is called Player Above Sports, and my nonprofit, so War Boy Project. Those three things keep me busy.
So you're an agent. That's what you do. That's your.
No, I'm not an agent. No, I'm not an agent.
Okay.
I'm the CEO, founder.
I got it.
And I have agents that are certified.
Well, that's good. I mean, you could be certified. Nathan's a certified agent if he really wants to be. I mean,
would you want to trust Nathan with college kids, though?
Could you imagine Nathan? And I love Nathan. Nathan is great. He's our PR guy. Great personality. Such a nice kid. Could you imagine Nathan go to a high school football game and he starts to talk about the P's and Q's or the X's and O's when it comes to football? And if you're scouting a running back or a quarterback or even a defensive lineman, could you imagine Nathan, TJ, going to a high school football game and trying to recruit one of those guys?
Yeah, man, no doubt.
Really?
Hey, you just gotta be yourself, man. Be yourself, know the game, and it's hard work, but I'm determined, and it's not easy. Hasn't been easy, and I don't ever see it being easy. But it's so many things that's changing in the game and in the atmosphere of NIL and college and professional. The NBA draft was yesterday.
Yep.
That was crazy. So there's so much going on in the industry, but you just got to keep hold and keep striving.
Well, you could still find NBA players. There's second rounds tonight, and who knows? You could find another Jokic. So
yeah, not this draft, not this draft, but hopefully you see me in the green room soon, man. That's the goal. That's the goal.
All right.
I'm trying to be there draft night.
All right. So why don't we go through your career? And the Browns are an organization that have been a laughing stock for many, many years. Okay, they have a quarterback right now named Deshaun Watson. He likes to go to parlors. And hang out with a lot of interesting people while he's doing it. He might be very good friends with Robert Kraft. I don't want to get into that. I want to get into your career and your thoughts of the Cleveland Browns, the organization, and the fans. What was it like playing in Cleveland?
It was cold. Nah, man, it was, it was miserable losing, but the fans are so great. They keep you motivated. And they always there cheering, but man, the losing part just sucks, man. And the turnover, new coaches every year, new GM. It's the instability is the biggest problem I feel in Cleveland, right? You got to have some stability, and you got to pick something and ride it out for a little bit and see what happens. But I don't think really anyone there has had a long enough tenure to do anything.
So you play against a lot of good players in that AFC North that was loaded at the time. They had 3 playoff teams, I believe, like 2 straight years or something like that. What were some of the best battles you had, both physicality-wise and even like any individual players in that division?
Oh man, you say that was the peak of that division. So I came in as a rookie right into the fire. I'm like, man, we got the Ravens, we got the Steelers, the Bengals, and at that time, they were loaded. But it was fun, man. It was fun. One week you see over there, you got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Flacco and them, Ray Rice and everybody else. And next week you got Pittsburgh with Roethlisberger and Troy, and so it was like within your division, almost being in the Pro Bowl every week. But no, it was tough. It was tough. We got ours though. I'm not gonna lie. We got ours against Pittsburgh a little bit, and we definitely got ours against Cincinnati and Baltimore. But it was everyone else that we couldn't we couldn't seem to get them W's against. But definitely black and blue division.
What TJ, like, I played for 4 teams in my career. What did you find the hardest thing, like the adjustment from team to team, like schematically, just clubhouse stuff, or just trying to figure out like where do I fit in, and what role do I play?
I think schematically, you hit it on the head. I tell people all the time, like every division is almost like a division in college football. Like the style of football is different. So coming from the AFC North, how we just mentioned, it was black and blue division, a lot of right in your face, straight at you, and play action, and it's heavy ball. When I got to Denver, the AFC West, it was West Coast more style, wide open, a lot of motion shifting and pre-snap things where it wasn't that much in the AFC North. It was a little faster, smaller backs and wide receivers, but it was an adjustment. It definitely was an adjustment. And I carried that weight from the AFC North to the AFC West, and I realized I had to cut a couple pounds because it was a little bit faster, man. I'm like, oh, I can't I couldn't transition the same with that weight on.
As everybody knows, we are talking to 8-year former vet from the NFL, safety TJ Ward, played for the Browns, the Broncos, the Buccaneers. TJ, obviously, you played with a lot of great safeties, and you mentioned Polamalu, and then you have Ed Reed, 2 Hall of Famers, 2 of the greatest safeties of all time. When you look at the game and how it's transitioned from the time that you played to now, what safety that you have watched over the last couple of years has really stood out to you from the best from all the other ones?
Ooh, the best out of all of them. I wouldn't say there's a best out of all of them. I can't say that there's one that just peaks overall on, but I definitely like Derwin James. He's been a guy that I like to watch. Justin Simmons, my dog in Denver, he's had a great career and has been balling. Kenny recently, or the last couple of years in Green Bay, he's been doing his thing. There's a few guys out there I
There's
like to
2
watch.
guys you haven't mentioned yet. Bates, who's done wonders.
I was going to get to Bates. That was my next guy. Bates he's had a
and Kyle Hamilton, who has been fantastic over there with the Baltimore Ravens. Another safety that they find him. They're an organization that knows how to find.
Draft another one too with Starks.
Yeah, Starks is another one that's going to be a very good player too. So I think that's why I just wanted to know what you thought the safety position from when you were playing, and now from the top safeties, young safeties that are developing right now in the NFL, who you think are the next and up and coming superstars in the NFL.
Yeah. Those handful of guys, I'd say hit it pretty hard. Hitman's still doing his thing out there in Minnesota for the OGs.
So you played with a very loaded secondary in Denver. Probably the best in my time watching football threesome of corners that they had with Harris, Talib, and Bradley Roby, and then you played alongside another good one in Darian Stewart in that Wade Phillips defense for a while. So what was it like with playing with those guys on that defense?
Man, it was a pleasure. Like, it was a pleasure going out there every day competing with those guys. It made ball easy. You really just had to. A lot of times when I was in Cleveland, I felt like I had to make up, for other players, or I had to do more than I was asked to do. But in Denver, you knew that wasn't needed. Just do your job and we'll be all right. And sometimes I couldn't even get to do my job before the play was made. So having those guys out there with the same mindset, same competitiveness, the brotherhood off the field, coming to work was easy.
What do you think? Like, obviously, you're not that far removed from the game, but games evolve, they change. Like, and obviously, rules have changed. They're a little different than when you started. Is there some that you like and there's some that you dislike? And if there are, what would you change about them?
Man, of course, I don't like some of the personal foul penalties for late hits or whatever those type of situations are with the quarterback sliding late. I think we're getting penalized too much for some things that, are out of our control, which started when I was like on the back end of my career with targeting. and such. But some rules that I do like. I don't. Is there any rules that's geared to us? I think they put the chop blocking rule that they took out on the offense.
Yes, and special
They're not
teams.
allowed to crack back either, which is cool for us to keep us safe. That's about it.
Oh, he's got jokes, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking to
Man.
former 8-year NFL safety TJ Ward. TJ, you played for a Super Bowl championship team, the Denver Broncos. I remember that team. You've had a lot of Hall of Famers, two of them that have been inducted to the Hall of Fame. What was it like playing for a Super Bowl team, and what was it like playing with a guy like Peyton Manning, a superstar player at the tail end of his career, personality-wise and just talent-wise? What type of player was he?
I'm gonna tell you, I went to the Hall of Fame parties or ceremony 2 years in a row. I started to think I was gonna go every year. I'm like, hey, this is cool. I'm at the Hall of Fame every year with one of my teammates. But no, it was amazing, man. Having Peyton, directing the ship, being the captain. Dude, that was just such a fun team, right? We had so much fun on that team. Peyton, he's just one of the guys like everybody else. And I can really can't say too much more. Like, so what you see is what you get. The same Peyton cast and all that you see on TV, that's what we was dealing with in the locker room. So other than the business aspect, it was a lot of fun.
Was he your favorite teammate? What on that team? Who was your favorite teammate? I mean, there was a lot of.
My favorite teammate is my dog Akeem. Man, that's my favorite teammate. That was my dog on the squad. We all ran together. We were pretty tight. Vaughn, Chris, Stu, D. Ware, Roby, Kayvon. No, we rolled thick, man. We rolled deep, and that's why we were so tight.
You could argue
Terrence Knighton on that team. He was a fun one too as a defensive tackle.
Knight was on there when I first got there. He wasn't on the Super Bowl team, but yeah, he's still my dog. He was Knight was the one that welcomed me to Denver. That's my boy, man.
Your secondary was unbelievable. That was probably one of the top two secondaries in all of football. If I'm not mistaken, Talib, wasn't he traded to the Broncos?
Yeah, I forget if he was traded or free agent.
Free agent.
We all signed free agent deals.
I'm always
the Bucs traded him to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The Patriots let him go.
That's what it was. Because Talib, we bounced to like 3 teams in less than 4 years. And maybe because of his personality, but he has an interesting personality. Even now, I don't know him personally, but I watch all the things that he posts up on social media. He's got a unique personality, Talib. So,
man, look, that's what you should have been down there on the locker room and the sideline. You talk about personalities between Key, Vaughn, me, Chris Harris. Oh my God, Peyton. Emmanuel Sanders, C.J. Anderson. Like, it's just full. The whole team is just full of pranksters, jokesters, and shit. But dogs at the same time. We're not playing no games.
C.J. Anderson was a very good playoff running back, too. I remember, because I'm a Giants fan, I remember when he was with the Rams and he played against the Cowboys in the playoffs. And I didn't remember the whole Todd Gurley saga where he was hurt, and then was he really hurt? And then C.J. Anderson goes for like 175 yards against them. And dominated in the Super Bowl, too, against that Carolina defense.
Yeah, C.J. should be toting. So, you see that Patriots game in that, it was the regular season game where we won, I don't know if it went to overtime. It was close, but it was snowing. CJ had a long run for the game. So,
TJ, do you think, like you're talking about the camaraderie and everything and winning? Do you how big of a part do you think that plays? Like, knowing he's got my six, he's got my back. He's gonna ride with me, he's gonna die with me, and he's gonna give it everything I got, just like I am. Because there's obviously X's and O's of it, but when you get to that point, I mean, you're grinding, like you're doing everything to feel, because we ain't 100% when we get to that point.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to where we can, but where do you think that camaraderie and like knowing each other has their back plays a part on getting to next week? Because y'all is different. Like, it's either you win or you lose and go home.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
You're to that point, I think that plays a big part in what we do, but we have a chance. Y'all don't have a chance. So how does that play a part? And do you think it plays a bigger part than people realize?
I probably say it's like third most important behind. You got to have the talent out there first. You got to be able to have the ability and the players out there. Then you got to have a decent scheme, right? It got to be decent. You don't have to be the greatest, but if you got the talent and the decent scheme, then you'll be all right. And then next, I'd say it's the camaraderie, the cohesion, and how you guys get down together. And those three things make championships. You get Super Bowls.
TJ, we talk about quarterbacks. You played against some of the greatest quarterbacks: Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, y'all's Tom Brady, great quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. You played against a lot of these top quarterbacks. When you look at the quarterbacks now and the athletic ability that some of them have, Lamar Jackson, you see Josh Allen, these guys are like beasts. And Josh Allen's like 6'6", 250 pounds, and he runs through people like a fullback. When you look at the game then and you look at now, if you were playing now, how would you stop? How would you defend those type of guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and all these mobile quarterbacks that are playing today?
Oh man, I mean, we've had our fair share ourselves. I mean, Mike Vick ain't no slouch to chase around.
Yes.
But I would not like to do that every week. Is chase somebody around out the pocket, and when we blitzing and he finding somebody is not my favorite thing to do. That was my least favorite when I played. Is quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Mike Vick, who when the play breaks down, finds extra times or scrambles and gets the first down. Man, I'd rather have somebody that sit in the pocket and then when it breaks down, he has to throw it away or something. And if he finds a guy, then he's on time with his throw. But me being usually the spy or somebody that got to come out the zone and chase the quarterback, it's not fun.
Watching the game right now, who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL?
Ooh, the best quarterback right now in the NFL. It's still Patty, man. It's Pat.
Really?
I don't know why I thought that I was being so dramatized with it.
You think
like
Patrick
when I got
Mahomes?
to
I'm
pick up, I'm like,
surprised.
hold up.
I'm
Nah,
surprised.
it's Pat. Yeah, it's definitely Pat for sure.
Why? Why do you think he's the best?
I think he just has a dab of everything, man. He has the scrambling ability. He can run. Um, I wouldn't even say he has the best arm or anything like that. He just seems to make the plays in the best moments. So his offense is definitely favors him. I think Andy Reid is a guru at what he does. But that tandem right now, whether you want to call it Randy's or whatever, is Pat. But I think Lamar is a very close second. But overall, it's Pat.
So shifting, I know you mentioned you have an agency. Shifting to the college football, the big NIL ruling that just got passed with the now the schools can actually directly pay the players within a certain
Damn it,
salary.
Speedy.
What are your thoughts to that ruling, and how do you think it'll impact college football, college sports?
I'm interested. I can't say I don't like it anytime they're allowing the players to get paid, but we have to really see how that's going to be formatted and what it negates and what it allows, right? There's always some loopholes when you see the acceptance of something. There's always something in fine print. So we got to see what's going on with that fine print. But right now, it sounds good.
Well, that was going to be my question because I got a son playing baseball in college. So I feel your pain on the
What school?
4-year-old.
What school?
He's at Hutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So
That's congrats. Be proud, man.
yeah, they just won the national championship this year in
Oh,
junior
man.
college. They
Fire.
beat Iowa Western. But yeah, so I'm going to go along those lines though. So when you having what you have, like how does you and your group stay on top of that and read between the lines to make sure obviously you put not only your company but your student athlete in the right situation to where nothing comes back because there are always loopholes, there's always the fine print. But as it's come and I'm learning with this as well
Mhm.
and seeing what my son can and can't do and what terms are. And obviously junior college is a little bit different, but they're a Division I junior college. So
Mhm.
it's kind of in the same way.
Yeah. I understand because but a family friend of mine is going. He just left high school and he's going to a JC for 1 year and doing that baseball route. So, but to answer your question, it's just being in open communication with the compliance of the schools and the what are I'm blanking on the name of the NIL departments of the school. I forgot the collectives. Sorry,
Collectives, yeah.
The collectives. That's that CTE kicking in. But yeah, just being in open communication with them, just trying to stay up on the compliance department, and when you are in those negotiations, making sure that you have everything on the table and laid out before you're signing anything, before you're agreeing to anything. That's very important because you can't backtrack. And you see what's happening. Sometimes these kids aren't getting paid because they're signing these deals without having lawyers look at them or without having a team look at them that really knows the front and back end of what they're getting into.
We are talking to former 8-year NFL safety TJ Ward, played for the Browns, the Broncos, and the Buccaneers. TJ, when you look at the safety position, you even look at the linebacker position and the running back position, 3 positions that are not really respected the way they should be in the NFL. You look at the money and where it's divided into when it comes to the offensive linemen, the tackles, the corners, the number 1 corners, the quarterbacks. You look at these 3 positions, and I just think they're just not treated with the respect that they deserve. Why do you think the NFL GMs and executives don't respect those positions as much as the other positions I just mentioned?
That's a good question. I think it's more of the direction of where the game is going, right? When the game was really physical and you were allowed to, hit and do all those things, then the linebackers were highlighted. Everybody's running back was highlighted. Like the days of, early Madden where you had Priest Holmes, Jamal Lewis, like early 2000s, like the running back was him. It's because the game was so physical. The linebackers they were the guys. The D ends, they're still the guys because they get after the quarterback. But with it being such a passing league now and less physical, then who's getting the ball? The receivers. Who has to stop the pass? The corners. So they're highlighted. It's like the NBA almost going to more of that European, less physical style. Everything is less physical. Don't ask me why, but it is, and that's what they're catering to, and that's who they're marketing.
Our executive producer wants us to ask you this question. Okay, so I'm going to ask it for you. So, and we argue this all the time. You played against these quarterbacks. There's 3 quarterbacks: Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers. All 3 of them, I think, are Hall of Famers. When you look at what Phillip Rivers did, I think all 3 of them are Hall of Famers. I think all 3 of them are Hall of Famers. Statistics, everything they've done in the NFL and where they came from. And I know a lot of people look at Phillip Rivers. Well, he never won a championship. Dan Marino never won a championship. There are a lot of quarterbacks that never won a championship. Obviously, the positions that they were in. And Phillip Rivers' best chance to win a Super Bowl, he was playing on a torn ACL. So, and it was pretty amazing what he did. I've argued this. I had Steve Weich on this show. And Steve Weich told me Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. And I went at him, and then he says, Matthew Stafford is a better player to argue to go to the Hall of Fame. And I said, how could you say that when you look at Phillip Rivers' numbers and compare it to Matthew Stafford? It's not even comparable, okay? Your thoughts to these 3 quarterbacks. In order, who do you think goes to the Hall of Fame first, second, and third, and why?
I don't think any of them go, and I don't think any of them deserve to go. Keep it a buck, but I say if anyone wants to go, it'd go be Eli first.
Oh,
probably. He just has the he has the brand, he has the name, he has the Super Bowls, New York. He'd probably be the first to go. Then it'd be Big Ben and Phillip last.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I was going to ask who the okay. Oh wait, Fish just coming in. I think he wants to interject on this.
Way to go, TJ. That was
get off.
Definitely
get him off.
The right answer.
Get him off.
You know what? I'm just. That's I mean, what do you guys think? I just think that Eli is closer. He may not have the numbers of Ben or
Rivers.
See, it's coming back, Rivers. But
you guys beat the Chargers.
The chips, man, the
Just
chips.
remember that one well.
The chips and the name. That's
But
like, damn.
you know, it takes a team to
Two
win.
MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs.
Every quarterback gets a Super Bowl MVP. Stop this crap.
That's not true.
Yes,
How
most
come
of the time.
Roethlisberger didn't?
Most of the time, that's because the first time Ben Roethlisberger went to the Super Bowl, he was practically a rookie.
And Heinz Ward was just that good.
Yes, and so I don't want to hear that. When you look at a team, football's the ultimate team game. I am just looking at that.
I don't feel just because you're one of the best quarterbacks in your organization that you deserve to go to the Hall of Fame.
Well, Drew Brees played for San Diego. Did he not?
But not very long.
Yeah, but he still played with San
But
Diego.
Drew Brees is a saint. Everyone knows Drew Brees is a saint.
He was drafted by San Diego.
He's a saint.
Nobody
Yeah,
said
but
the
he's a
Chargers
saint.
were the brightest organization.
And he got a Super Bowl.
So, TJ,
Super
I got
Bowls
something
were
I
won
got to
by
ask you.
teams. Stop it.
Errol always talks about.
Hold on. When you look at Peyton Manning in that run, you're going to tell me right now Peyton Manning is the reason why you guys won that Super Bowl?
I'm not saying he's the reason why we won, but he was a big part of why we won.
Well,
I'm telling you that.
Get out of here.
Hey, look.
You had
PM, we all know PM was dealing with a lot of stuff that year. But let me tell you, at the end of them games, when we needed them points, we was getting them points. Now the rest of the game, I don't know.
I'm going to argue with you here.
The end of the game, we was getting them points.
First of all, in the starting of the season, what really got you into playoffs was Osweiler, if you remember that. I know you do. And then
Osweiler came in and did his thing, too. That's
did.
what's the beauty of it. Yeah. Look, that's the beauty of our championship. Like, people always say, oh, such and such got hurt, that we would have won. We should have, could have did this because they got hurt. We did get hurt. Everybody got hurt. I almost didn't even play in the Super Bowl. I got kicked out. Stu got hurt in the AFC Championship game. That's why, if you look at it, Grunt went crazy towards the end because we was down to no safeties. We had, like, the bottom of our bench on defense. So that's why that win is even better than people think. Like, everybody got hurt. Like, Sly was hurt, the D tackle. Man, everybody was hurt. We came into the Super Bowl limping.
Sly's been on a show. Yep. Hey, he's a great guy.
Oh, yeah, my dog Sly, man.
Yeah, he's been on a show.
Me and Sly got hurt on the same play versus the Patriots.
Yeah, he actually mentioned that. He actually brought up the injury that he had with you when you guys ran into each other. So he did mention that.
I was like, God dang.
I remember that. But I'm just telling you, going back to that and the argument over there, you say, well, they won the chip. They won the chip. The reason why you won that championship was Wolf and that defensive line. That defensive line was unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And the next year, you guys drafted another friend of our show, Adam Goetzus, who we met at the Super Bowl.
Goetzus is a good
guy,
too.
Big Adam. Yeah. Big guy. Guy's a great dude, too, man.
Such a nice guy, man. Really down there.
But you know what? I mean, who doesn't win with a good defense? You got to have a good defense to win the Super Bowl. Like, you see the Eagles? That's why they won. It wasn't like Hurts was out there airing the ball out. Like, that defense was crazy.
I mean, you got to at least have a good pass rush so
for
that
sure.
They don't have time.
For sure.
But you always win if you got good D.
Yeah, man.
In every way.
Well,
not even on the field.
TJ, I always ask this because I'm an offensive and defensive line high school coach up by West Point area in New York.
Okay.
And I always say, like, I want to have the D line get there because then my corners don't have to cover for more than a couple of seconds. And then they look good, and they get to make the turnovers, and then we win. You can't have a good secondary if you don't have at least one guy getting home that has to speed up that clock for that quarterback.
Man,
like, you can't. Like, it's real tough. Always likes to talk about Phillip Rivers' completion percentage in this argument. And I always like to say...
what?
His completion percentage, because you like to dink and dunk a
lot.
Yeah,
man. I'm going to tell you something about that. Him and that Gates, man, like, that was my biggest thing with the Chargers. Like, him and Gates would just sit there and do this. And, Gates is a wide-body Hall of Famer. I couldn't get around him. He was so wide. But, like, down the field, it was better. I could cut, but, like, the short little third, and I knew they was doing it 3rd and 4. They're going to run a pivot and I couldn't get around them. But I just think when we played him, at least Phillip just threw too many interceptions. Like, we knew he was coming home with something.
You don't like Phil, all right? That's fine. It's okay.
No, we don't like Phil.
I knew you
don't
didn't like him.
Phil.
I knew you didn't like him. I knew it. And one of these days we're going to get Phil on
we love
the
Phil,
show.
man. Actually, we love Phil because Phil talks shit.
Yes.
And as a defensive player, you love that from, like, quarterbacks and stuff. So
now the real
really, him and Chris would be chirping all the time. Him and Chris Harris, they would be back and forth all day. They, like, they had like a 4-year romance.
Now the real question: Did Philip Rivers talk?
It's not a romance; it's a bromance.
Did Philip Rivers talk more shit to the refs or the players? That's the real question.
Man, that is a good question. I don't know.
It seems like he was always getting heated at the end of the game.
Oh, always.
All I was saying is Eli seemed to make all the big plays.
Could you stop with the giant crap? What are we talking about the Giants all the time? We're talking to a Bronco.
No, we're TJ and are joining the Chargers hate trade.
All right, and why are we talking this conversation? It all of a sudden sways to the Giants and Eli Manning.
Just because he didn't agree with you.
I don't listen. He doesn't like Philip Rivers. That's fine. That's great. Most people don't.
That doesn't.
Most people don't.
It's not about liking. It's just that
Do
one
most
guy
people
has two
agree?
Super
I
Bowl
don't think
MVPs.
most people agree with you on that.
That's fine, and that's why I got my own opinion, and that's why I think Philip Rivers, out of all three of them, is the better quarterback.
You think he was always talking shit?
You didn't ask me who was a better quarterback. You asked me who I think was going to the Hall of Fame.
I said no. I know people are going to argue that but if it was up to me, and I would look at all three quarterbacks in my thought on who the better quarterback, I would say Philip Rivers was number one, Ben Roethlisberger was number two, Eli Manning was number three. They're going to look at Eli Manning because he won the 2 chips, he won the 2 MVPs, he's a Manning. They're going to look at that. Like you were saying, it's all about the name, and that's why Eli probably go to the Hall of Fame before both of these guys. I think all three of them are going to the Hall of Fame. They very much well deserved. And we just mentioned Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers, Eli Manning. You're talking about 6 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and you played against all of them.
Yeah, man, tough pickings.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have a really good recruiter for your defense. Maybe this guy showed up at you guys' houses to try to help build that defense. Man, that's a real tough
Hopefully he
group
wasn't
right
wearing any of that outfit.
Niffin's specialty is field hockey and pickleball.
Hey, TJ, his fits are terrible, son.
Man, I'm like, what are you guys?
Hey, that's a real fit too. Like this isn't the other ones are, but the blue blazer, red shirt, and camo pants, that is for real.
Hey, you in between? You about to go on vacation after work?
We love
about to
Niffin.
kick it with the boys.
We love Niffin. Niffin is just a dude. He wears this blue blazer everywhere he goes. When he goes to these events, and I always tell him, why don't you just get every single athlete to sign the blue blazer until it completely covered with autograph, and then frame it. This guy will not do it. Every single event, everybody knows him. I call him the blue blazer because he wears that blue blazer no matter where he goes. It is the funniest thing.
It's uniform now, man. It's uniform.
You got to have a trademark. You got to have a trademark.
Definitely.
No,
recognition. That's what you call brand recognition right there.
But then he also has his other trademark, his world-class leash.
Oh, we've got a lot of different classes of here. Ready?
I'm putting you on a leash now. Breaking news. Goody has no Woody. Bagel hole. I am a legend. Yum yum. Butt plug. I want to hit it. My pinky is bigger than yours. Blow my back out. Joba takes it up the ass. My rear end is burning. Scoop sits on the shitter. Ass licker. Duty Dodger.
What's the new Carl one?
You have so many.
What was the new Carl one?
Oh, this one.
He has
Carl
so much
plays
fun
with
this
himself.
Wow. That's one of our fans.
What is that, an app?
No, it's our soundboard. We got a soundboard. It's great.
Oh,
I use it for the. I do it for the
I
show.
got to get one of those.
Yeah,
Where'd you
do.
get that from?
Well, you got to get an iPad, and then you download an app, and you have to pay for the app, and then you put.
Oh,
your
yeah,
soundboard.
so it's an app. That's what this
Nick
is.
will send you all his drops.
It's a soundboard. It's a
in
soundboard.
remembrance.
Yeah, look.
A lot of hot
Hey,
ladies.
is it an app?
digital
No, it's not
soundboard.
an app. Soundboard.
Everything is an app, buddy, and it's a soundboard app. That's what it is. Listen.
It's good for both of us.
It's good for all.
Willy Whopper, Speedy.
Hey, I
Willy
need one too. So
I gotta hook you up, man. We'll hook you up.
I think it send you all his drops. He made them all.
I am a disturbing person.
we could go to Joba. These are good. You ready? Ready here, Joba? Here we go.
I'll let you lick my butt. I gave up the booty there. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
Hold on.
Like, I always gave up the booty.
Oh my God! Wow.
Hold on.
It's
This
in
makes my
context,
pecker
though,
hard.
TJ, when I gave up the game.
This makes my pecker hard.
You just made my nipples hard. Pulled it out of my ass. As long as she's using dude wipes and taking care of my two-hole, I'm good.
That's what's his name, huh? What's that baseball show? Eastbound and Down.
Screw the baseball show.
Kenny Powers.
We've got
Kenny Powers.
We've got the best show here, man. Stop bringing other shows, man. Screw the
Oh,
other
my
shows.
bad, my bad, my
Man,
bad.
it's-
No, that was a
It's
TV,
an
that was a
HBO
TV
show from years ago.
Yeah. By the way, Bill Simmons, idiot. That's all I'm going to say. As we
You
know.
sound like the guy
You-
off the
it's a
soundboard.
movie.
Yeah. HBO.
Will Ferrell
That's right.
was
He's the
bad
car
guy in
salesman.
if you ever get a chance, that's like some of the funniest bloopers of all time. Is the Will Ferrell, Kenny Powers,
Eastbound and Down. Oh, man.
Eastbound and Down bloopers. That's you just never stop laughing watching that stuff. I watch it every once in a while.
TJ, you mess with baseball?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm off,
Mario.
man. Look, a little bit. I'm learning more and more, but not growing up, but definitely something my son is interested in doing. So, got to get the game.
Can't hate the game, right? You can't hate any game, as we all know. But anyways, TJ, we love you, man. You got to come on the show more often, man. You got to
Man, I had a ball. Honestly, this was cool.
Oh, well, we appreciate you even sitting and hanging out with us for an hour. I mean, you've been on for an hour, man. And I know you were a little busy and you popped on, but we really appreciate you just joining us and giving us the time, buddy.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you having me. I'll come
Absolutely.
back on anytime, man.
And
Let me know.
and-
Football season coming.
All right.
You'll see me doing a couple little things, so I'll have a drop for y'all. Hey, post my drop.
We will. We will. As a matter of fact, I want you to do something before you go. I want you to say you are listening to Joba and the Mouth. Say that.
You are listening.
Hold on. You got to say this is TJ Ward, okay? You're going to say this is TJ Ward. You're listening to the best show in America, Joba and the Mouth. Let's hear it.
Yo, this is TJ Ward, and you're listening to the best show in America, Joba in the Mouth.
I love it. We love you. There you go. Boss, man. Tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, at BossWar43, everything. X, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, that's it.
TikTok. How many TikTok followers you have?
Man, I tried to get into it for a little bit, and I was doing it, and I kind of backed off. It's just, it's not my cup of tea, man. I'm trying, but
Hold on,
it's too much.
Nathan wants to come in for a little bit.
Nathan
Yo, what up, TJ?
What's good?
Yo, what's up, my guy? How you been?
Man, I'm great. I can't complain. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for joining the show, man. This great episode.
Hey, man. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
he's not wearing his blue blazer, so we're in good shape.
Oh, come on.
Nathan's on his way back from a recruiting trip.
You have to do his pickleball recruits.
I'm actually hosting an event on Monday with one of the biggest Long Island recruits in 25 years, Preston Carey, where he's going to make an announcement where he's going. So I'll be there. I'll be hosting it. Yeah, so it'll be cool. It'll be the first one I've ever been hosting, so it'll be cool. So
Sweet.
anyways, TJ.
Oh, I am
There it
kid.
There he is. There's Preston.
Okay.
Yeah.
6'6".
Wait, where are you hosting it?
300 pounds. I'm not watching it. I'm going. I'm going to be hosting the event.
Oh, I know, but where at though?
The Eureka Castle.
Oh, good.
In Long Island. Wow, you want to come, Nathan? You want to
He
come?
doesn't leave
No.
Jersey. This is a Jersey man through
Nathan's
and through.
Nathan's got to work on his field hockey recruiting.
I've got one.
Is it-
I got one. You ready? Hold on. We're gonna find one here.
Breaking news.
Is-
Goody has no Woody. Breaking news. A lot of hot ladies.
Hey, TJ, before we let you go, Nathan, we were like conversating about what's the craziest thing he would do to a woman. You know what he told us? Nathan, tell him
Oh my God.
Tell him what you told us. tell them what you told us.
Oh God. You could just play on the soundboard.
He told us that if he had the opportunity to take a woman out, he would put a leash on her and take her for a walk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's Nathan. That's Nathan for you, TJ.
You guys are wild.
Anyways, TJ, we love you. Thank you for joining us, bud.
No problem. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
Talk to you soon.
Former 8-year NFL safety, Browns, Broncos, Buccaneers, 2010 to 2017, the one and only TJ Ward. Thank you, Nathan, for hooking us up. He was great, fantastic, and he gave us a lot of good takes, and now he knows that you're an absolute weirdo, so we're good.
Come on, man. Yo, you're crazy, Errol. You're a weirdo.
I already admitted it. Anybody that knows me,
the weirdo.
everybody that knows me knows I'm crazy and I'm weird. I don't think it's hidden.